Gang, what up? Red Cup. Let's get it. Y'all know we got the essentials, you feel me? This is 6 days after her son came from home from prison. He killed her and his brother. Crazy work, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, ski.
Now to the double murder in Wilson County. We're learning the suspect is charged with killing his own brother and his mother. Police identified.
First of all, gang, how do you muster up to do that to your moms and your brother, gang?
To find the victims is 50-year-old Dana Jenkins.
Come on, gang. 15 years. Oh my gosh, gang.
And her 15-year-old son, Darren Cox. Jenkins' 25-year-old son, Darion Jenkins, is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The victims were found inside a home yesterday evening on Snowden Drive.
Juanelia Carnegie lives next door to her cousin.
That's from that was in North Carolina. That's the stomping grounds right there.
Cousin Dana Jenkins.
She was a very sweet person. Always smiled. I can see her smile right now. She always smiled.
Carnegie says that in the days leading up to the murders, she felt something was off with Darian.
You could see it. The look. It told you everything. But I had no idea that you was getting ready to do what you did.
Alright, y'all finna get me copyrighted, gang. Come on now.
Boy, typed in all caps and exclamation points. She wasn't just celebrating her son's return from prison, she was reclaiming her family, rebuilding the future she thought she'd lost. But 6
Yeah, she still left him where he was at.
days
No
later,
hat.
flashing red and blue lights lit up the quiet street of Snowden Drive in Wilson, North Carolina. Yellow tape twisted in the wind. Neighbors stood frozen on their porches, hands over their mouths, watching in horror as 2 body bags were wheeled out of Dana's home. One for her, one for her 15-year-old son, Darren.
15 years old, gang. You killed your baby brother, gang. It's wild to me.
And the man responsible? The very son she had just welcomed back with open arms. She opened her door, and he took everything.
Dang, gang. Yeah, think about it. He probably while he was in jail, she probably sending him money for him. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how long he was in there for, you know what I'm saying? They don't say yet. But she probably sending him money so he can eat, you know what I'm saying? Making sure he got, you know what I'm saying? Little clothes and joint, you know what I'm saying? Little care packages. You know what I'm saying? Book money good.
This wasn't a robbery. It wasn't a random act of violence. This was a homecoming turned horror show, a mother's dream turned nightmare, and a community left shattered in the span of 6 days. What could make a man do that? What could make a son murder the very mother who had prayed for him and the little brother who had looked up to him? What warning signs were missed? And how does a family go from "thank you, Lord" to "rest in peace" in under a week? This is the story of Dana Jenkins, her son Darren Cox, and the tragic cost of believing love can save someone who doesn't want to be saved. What happens when hope becomes a trap? And what do you do when the danger is already inside your home? Stay with me, because the answers begin long before the crime. If you're into real true crime stories, stories that dig deep into the facts and the people behind them, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Go ahead and
We
hit
post new
mine.
videos every single day, so there's always
Every
another case
day,
to
do
uncover,
it.
another truth to explore. Before her name was etched into headlines and obituaries, Dana Jenkins was simply a woman trying to live a good life.
Type.
Born and raised in
Single mother doing her thing, man.
Wilson, North Carolina, Dana was the kind of person whose presence made a room feel warmer. She worked full-time, stayed active in her church, and still somehow made time to check in on neighbors, offer rides, bring meals, and lend a listening ear to any.
Good woman, gang. Come on, gang. I tell you, to mommy? We doing this to mommy now, gang?
Anyone who needed.
And the thing is, gang, I can tell you based off the experience of my mother, gang, your mama gonna love you through anything and whatever. Anything and whatever you do, mommy gonna love you, gang. Ain't nothing like a mama love you, feel me? Nothing like it.
She didn't just talk about faith, she lived it every single day. To those who knew her, Dana was grace in motion.
Where them fans at? Where them fans at? I know she was, hey, I know what, hey, had to be, gang. This is the fan, gang.
A quiet force of kindness and strength. She was one of those people who remembered birthdays, asked about your mother, and meant it. There wasn't a mean bone in her body, just a deep belief in God, in people, and in second chances. She raised 2 sons, Darren and Darren, with everything she had. No matter how hard times got, and they did get hard, Dana never stopped trying.
Dana and Darren?
Never stopped
Darren
loving.
and Darren.
Never stopped believing. Her youngest Darren was her joy, her soft spot, her shadow. The one who made her laugh in the grocery store line, who'd stay late after church just to help her clean up. Their bond was special, pure, the kind of love that didn't need words. And even when her oldest son, Darren, drifted down a darker path, run-ins with the law, prison time, all the worry that comes with watching a child lose himself, Dana never gave up on him either. She prayed for him, wrote him letters, visited him behind bars. She truly believed that if she held on long enough, the boy she raised would come back to her. Because Dana Jenkins didn't see broken people. She saw people in need of grace.
Real love,
And she
man.
believed deep down that love could fix what the world had tried to ruin.
Real love,
But
gang.
no amount of faith can
I said, stop. Real love, gang.
predict what's waiting behind a closed door. And for Dana, that blind hope would become her greatest vulnerability. Because the very sons she loved with all her heart, the light and the shadow, were about to collide in a way that no one could have imagined. If Dana Jenkins was the heart of her family, then Darren Cox was its joy. At just 15 years old, Darren was already someone people gravitated toward. Teachers described him as the kind of kid who lit up a classroom. Classmates said he was always smiling, always helping, always making others feel seen.
Good soul, man.
He wasn't loud or flashy. He didn't need to be. His presence alone was a comfort. At Bedingfield High School, he excelled academically. Honor roll, leadership potential, a quiet confidence that made you believe he'd go far in life.
He could have been a lawyer, doctor. This joint sad, gang.
And at Mount Moriah Community Church, Darren,
Young black kid, not in trouble, in school, doing what he's supposed to do. Not only is he doing what he's supposed to do, he excelling in what he's supposed to do, gang. You couldn't, man, hey, you couldn't get me to be that good in school, gang. Ain't like oh bad though, you know what I'm saying? But excelling though, that's crazy.
didn't just attend, he gave back. He helped run the media team, volunteered at youth events, and played music during services. He was the kind of teenager who made adults say, that boy was raised right. And
Come on now, it's all stemming back from mommy, gang. He probably seen his brother doing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I ain't gonna be like that. Mama told him, you ain't gotta be like that. His brother probably told him that. You feel me?
he was. His relationship with Dana was more than just mother and son. It was a partnership. They laughed together, cooked together, prayed together. He was her rock as much as she was his. Friends often joke that they were best friends in disguise. There was no teenage rebellion, no resentment, just deep, abiding love. When Dana talked about Darren, her entire face would light up.
Good kid, man. Good kid.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive
Come on, gang.
income. Now, here's the thing.
Dad's gang.
He was her purpose, her pride. She often said that no matter how hard life had gotten, Darren gave her a reason to keep going. In every photo you could see it, the way he leaned into her, the way she looked at him. They adored each other. And that's what makes what happened all the more cruel. Because Darren wasn't just a bystander in the tragedy that would unfold. He was caught in the storm between his mother's hope and his brother's rage, a future full of promise, silenced in an instant, and it all began the moment Darren Jenkins came home. It was a day Dana Jenkins had been counting down to for years. The day her oldest son, Darren Jenkins, was finally coming home. She had cleaned the house from top to bottom, cooked his favorite meal, and told everyone who would listen, "This is our second chance." When
Happy to see her son again coming home, gang. Good. I know she threw down in the kitchen too, gang. I know she went crazy in the kitchen, gang. I know she did. Son coming home, she ain't seen him. Probably however long. She was in there whipping it up. Hey, good fried chicken.
she picked him up from the correctional facility, she greeted him with open arms and tears in her eyes. To Dana, it was the answer to her prayers, the end of a painful chapter, the beginning of a fresh start. She truly believed that
And
Darren
they from that way. I know she threw down. My bad, gang. I had to come. I know she threw down. She from that way.
had paid his debt, learned his lesson, and was ready to start over. But the man she brought home wasn't the boy she remembered. Darren Jenkins had spent the last 3 years behind bars for breaking and entering and larceny of firearms. He had a history of violent behavior that stretched back to his late teens. At 19, he was arrested for stealing from parked cars in a church lot. At 21, he broke into a neighbor's home and took 3 guns. During his time in prison, he racked up multiple citations, fighting, threatening staff, and what officials referred to as malicious conduct.
Yeah, how he get out then, gang? Yeah. I don't know. He had a good time served. Ain't no way he did all that in jail and they just, you know what I'm saying? His sentence couldn't have been that long.
He'd been denied parole twice for his behavior. His release wasn't earned. It was automatic. A legal technicality, not a reward. But none of that mattered to Dana. She still believed, still hoped.
Thanks.
When Darren arrived at the house on Snowden Drive,
Say, bro, it's a demon in there, gang. How he get out so early, gang?
there was a handmade banner on the porch that read, "Welcome Home." Balloons tied to the railing. Family gathered to celebrate. Photos from that day showed Dana beaming, standing beside her son with her arm around his waist. But look closer, and you'll see something else, something chilling. While everyone smiled, Darren stared blankly into the camera, his face expressionless, almost distant, cold. That unease wasn't just captured in photos, it was felt. Cousins, neighbors, friends. They all noticed it. Something was off. Off in his eyes, off in his posture, off in the way he moved. "You could see it," said Dana's cousin Juanita. "But look, I knew he was about to do something." Another relative later said, "He looked like a man just out of a war zone, or like someone still inside one." The celebration was real, but the danger was already inside the house. And in the days that followed, those red flags only grew louder. The homecoming that Dana Jenkins had prayed for quickly turned uneasy. In the days that followed Darren's return, something shifted in the atmosphere of that house on Snowden Drive. The joy began to feel strained. The warmth started to feel artificial. And those who were paying attention started to worry. It began subtly. Darren barely spoke. He paced the house at odd hours of the night, opening and
Oh, nah, gang. You had it. Hey, gang. Hey, you good? You straight? Oh, he ain't saying nothing? Nah, gang. Hey. Hey, you know what, gang? We gonna get you your own spot, gang. Don't have, gang. We'll get you your own, get you a little hotel or something, gang. Oh nah, it's 3 o'clock. Oh nah, gang.
Closing
Gotta
doors,
go.
checking windows, mumbling things no one could quite understand.
Yeah.
He'd
Shit, nah, buddy. Nah.
stare out into the yard for long stretches, unmoving. Sometimes he'd freeze mid-conversation, his eyes going blank like he was somewhere.
He probably went to jail and experience, like, you know, in jail sometimes, like, you gotta be on that, but they don't get up with you. So it's probably what he was on. Probably what he was on.
Else entirely. Then he'd snap back with a stiff, "I'm good," and walk away. He looked anxious, paranoid, unwell. A few family members described him as fidgety or like a bomb ticking down.
I thought they were supposed to do like a, don't they supposed to do like a little, they probably don't know, do it though. I thought it's supposed, like, you supposed to go through like mental joint when you get out.
One night,
Probably not, cause he didn't go to jail for nothing. Like, I mean, that was serious, but it wasn't like he probably, you know, killed somebody. But me, I think, you know what I'm saying, once you go up in there, you need to come back and get some type of evaluation, gang.
caught him just standing, still and silent, in the hallway outside a bedroom. Just watching, just waiting. No one knew what he was thinking, but they all knew something wasn't right. Then came the injury. Darren showed up one morning with his hand wrapped in a makeshift bandage. When asked what happened, he offered no
He hit a leg, gang. That's what that was. He done broke into some joint.
explanation, just shrugged it off. But the silence around that wound said more than words ever could. Still, no one confronted him. No one pushed, because they didn't want to hurt Dana. She was so happy to have him home, so hopeful, so convinced he was turning a new leaf. The last thing anyone wanted to do was pop that bubble. Not when she had waited so long for this reunion. So instead, they stayed quiet. Even after he asked Dana for $200 to get some things I need, she handed it over without hesitation. That
Nah, gang. He should have took that 200 and got him some, you feel me? Took him, hey, go get your own spot.
That's what mothers do, right?
That's what mothers do.
But police would later confirm that Darren used that money to buy bleach, duct tape, a hunting knife. The receipt was dated just days before the murders.
Dang.
People saw the signs, they felt them in their gut, but they bit their tongues out of love and loyalty.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court.
One cousin even admitted later, "I dreaded this day would come." You could see it in him. He wasn't right. But no one spoke up. No one stopped what was coming. Because Dana believed in redemption, and the rest of them didn't want to be the ones to take that hope away from her.
Yeah.
In the end, the silence was fatal. March 31st, 2025. It was a Monday. Ordinary.
Bro, this just happened, gang? That's crazy.
In every way until it wasn't. At 5:30 p.m., a call came into Wilson County Emergency Dispatch. The voice on the line was unclear, confused. The dispatcher couldn't quite determine the nature of the emergency, only that something was wrong. Deeply wrong. Officers were immediately dispatched to a home on Snowden Drive, the same quiet street where just 6 days earlier a welcome home banner had been fluttering on the porch. When police arrived, everything outside looked eerily normal. Dana's car was parked in the driveway. The porch light was glowing. There were no signs of forced entry, no shattered glass, no screams from inside, but the silence was heavy, and the door wouldn't open. What officers found when they finally entered that house would stay with them forever. Inside, 50-year-old Dana Jenkins and her 15-year-old son, Darren Cox, were found dead. Both had been stabbed repeatedly in what investigators would later describe as an act of extreme violence. It wasn't clean. It wasn't impulsive. It was rage, contained and then unleashed with terrifying precision. Dana, the mother who had believed so...
Dang, me backtrack, gang. He asked her for $200. They said the $200 was used to get a knife, some bleach, and like, was it rope or something like that? So basically, he used the money that she gave him to get this stuff to then later do that what he did to him, gang. That's crazy.
Fiercely in love and forgiveness, was reportedly found near the front of the house. Her body bore the brunt of the attack. Darren, her youngest child, her baby, was found further inside, as if he'd tried to run, as if he'd tried to escape. He didn't make it. The brutal nature of the killings shook even the most seasoned first responders. One officer later described the scene as something you only expect to see in war.
Like I said, gang, in this time, well, he probably couldn't get no gun, no way.
Not in a mother's living room. And then came the most haunting detail of all. Darren Jenkins, 25 years old, the very man Dana had brought home with open arms, was still at the scene. He didn't run, he didn't hide, he didn't resist. He was calm. When officers took him into custody, there was no struggle, no emotion, just quiet. Within hours, police announced that Darren had been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his mother and brother. He was taken to the Wilson County Jail, where he would remain without bond. Just 6 days earlier, Dana had thanked God for her son's return. Now the community was asking why God had allowed him to take her life.
Just released from prison last week, is now charged with killing his mother and younger brother after they were found dead in their Wilson County home on Monday.
Today, a family member who lives right next door is talking with WITN.
Yeah, Darren Jenkins is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder after police say he killed his mother and younger brother. They were found dead here in this home behind me. Now the cousin of the mother is speaking to us, trying to figure out how this could have happened.
I always smile. I can see her smiling right now. She always smiles.
That's how Juanelia Cornigi describes her cousin, Dana Jenkins. Now she is left shocked and hurt after learning Jenkins was found dead in her Wilson home alongside her 15-year-old son. The suspect in these horrific murders, Jenkins' older son.
I would have never thought that. I would have never thought he would did something like that. Not like this.
Police say on Monday they went to this home on Snowden Drive shortly before 5:30 p.m. and found a 50-year-old Dana Jenkins and a 15-year-old boy dead. According to Cornigi, the 15-year-old's name is Darren. Tuesday, police say they have the son of Dana and the older brother to Darren, Darian Jenkins, in custody for these deaths. Cornigi says that in the days leading up to the murders, she felt something was off with Darian.
You could see it. The look. It told you everything. But I had no idea that you was getting ready to do what you did.
And Darren's too. News of the double homicide spread through Wilson like wildfire. Shock turned to disbelief. Disbelief turned to grief. And grief gave way to a collective question that no one could answer. How could this happen? How could a home so full of faith, of joy, of reunion, become a crime scene? In under a week, Dana's joy had become Wilson's nightmare. And behind every candlelight vigil, every tear, and every prayer loomed a deeper fear. If it could happen to someone like Dana Jenkins, it could happen to anyone. The murders of Darren Cox didn't just break a family, they broke a town. Word spread quickly in Wilson. A mother and her teenage son, gone. Not to a car crash, not to illness, but to violence, to betrayal, to something so unthinkable, people kept repeating it out loud, hoping it might make more sense. He killed his mama, and Darren too?
Crazy gang. Mighty gang.
Disbelief hung in the air like fog.
stand up and make some noise for your...
Neighbors gathered at the edge of the yellow tape, holding one another in silence. It was too much, too cruel, too close. At Mount Moriah Community Church, where both Dana and Darren had worshipped, the grief hit like a tidal wave. Bishop Sherman Blandon, who had prayed beside Dana for years and watched Darren grow into a kind, talented young man, opened the doors for an emergency prayer service the very next evening. The sanctuary filled within minutes. People came in numb, quiet, looking for answers, looking for comfort, looking for something to hold on to. But even the bishop, a man of unwavering faith, could barely find the words. Even as a man of faith, he told the congregation, his voice shaking, "I have questions." Some wept openly. Others sat in stunned silence, clutching photos, whispering prayers. Many had just seen Dana days earlier, smiling, joyful.
Crazy, man. That's for sure crazy.
Full of hope. Now they were staring at her photo on a memorial table. The church's youth group gathered in a special session to honor Darren. The same kids he used to run lights and cameras with, now sitting in a circle, trying to understand why someone so good, so gentle, could be taken in such a brutal way. At Bedingfield High School, the impact was immediate. Darren's empty desk became a symbol of everything the school had lost. His teachers struggled to keep it together. His calls. Counselors were brought in to help students process what had happened.
This church is where Dana and Darren found comfort. Bishop Sherman Blandon says he knew them well.
It has been very difficult, confusing, troubling.
Carnegie remembers speaking to her cousin Sunday night and seeing police around the building the next day, telling her that 2 of her family members were now gone. The 25-year-old now faces 2 counts of first-degree murder, leaving Carnegie wondering how this could have happened.
Couldn't figure out why he did it and what for.
Online, messages poured in. Instagram posts filled with candle emojis, photos of Dana and Darren. Quotes from scripture, condolences, rage, confusion. One post read, "You were the sweetest soul, Darren. You deserved the world. I hope heaven is brighter with you in it." Another simply said, "She loved that boy more than life itself. Now they're gone, together." On April 12th, just 12 days after the murders, Dana Jenkins and Darren Cox were laid to rest. The funeral was held at Ellen Forbes' OFWB Tabernacle. The pews were packed. Family, friends, teachers, neighbors, even strangers who'd heard the story and couldn't stay away.
Crazy.
Pastor Damon Royal delivered a eulogy that focused on the love they left behind, rather than the horror of how they were taken. The following day, their bodies were buried side by side at Rest Haven Cemetery. As the final prayer was spoken and flowers were gently placed on the fresh earth, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't just a family in mourning. It was a community grieving the loss of 2 of its brightest lights. And as the town tried to heal, the question on everyone's mind began to shift. Not just how this could happen, but why. On April 1st, 2025, just one day after the murders, Darren Jenkins appeared in court for the first time. He didn't cry, he didn't speak, he didn't even look at the gallery, where devastated family members sat holding each other in disbelief. He just stared forward, blankly, like a man waiting for a train, not like someone accused of murdering his own mother and teenage brother in cold blood. The courtroom was heavy with silence, the kind of silence that follows a scream. The charges were read, 2 counts of first-degree murder. The judge ordered him held without bond. Prosecutors made it clear this wasn't going to be a case of temporary insanity. This wasn't going to be written off as a moment of madness. They believed it was planned, deliberate, calculated.
Had to be game.
Assistant District Attorney Holly Rebel addressed the court, stating that the brutal nature of the crime, combined with Darren's criminal history, warranted the highest possible bail, though ultimately it would be denied altogether.
Jenkins is also accused of killing his 15-year-old brother, a Wilson County school student who is being remembered by Bedingfield High School and Mount Moriah Community Church in Wilson.
They loved each other. They loved us. We loved them. Especially Darren. He meant the world to all of us. Our teens here, they're grieving heavily.
According to court documents, Jenkins was released from prison on March 25th on separate charges, just 1 week before the incident. Jenkins is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder as Wilson
to jail.
the circumstances surrounding the victims' deaths.
This is a tragedy, and honestly, there is no winner in this. And I'll be praying for everyone watching this, everyone affected by this and impacted by this.
As the investigation deepened, more disturbing details came to light. Darren Jenkins had been denied parole not once, but twice, due to repeated infractions and violent behavior while in prison. His release wasn't based on rehabilitation. It was procedural, mandatory. He had served his time on paper, but not in spirit. And then came the most chilling discovery yet. According to court records, Dana Jenkins had a life insurance policy through her employer. A modest policy, but enough to make someone desperate take notice. The listed beneficiary?
Nah, gang, I know.
If you think it might rain later, then all you need is this bearskin heavy...
Nah, gang. He ain't do that. Oh my gosh, gang. He ain't do that to try to get some bread, gang. Hold on, let's get past his ad, man.
storm rain jacket. That's because this is the only hiking grade packable rain jacket.
Darren, the same son she welcomed back with food, prayer, and unconditional love, may have seen her not as family, but as a payout. Investigators believe...
Gang. Gang. You did that for a check, gang, a life insurance policy, gang. I ain't gonna break that down, gang. That's just wild to me.
Believe that if he had succeeded in making the crime appear random, had he left the scene, created confusion, staged a break-in, he might have been able to claim the money.
Exactly, gang. You stayed there, gang. What's the point of even doing it?
And walk away. But was it just about money? Or was there something deeper festering in Darren's heart?
Something deeper than
Was
that,
it years of bitterness? Did he resent Dana for raising Darren differently? For loving him more openly? Did he look at his younger brother, the smiling, church-going honor student, and see everything he had lost? Everything he could never be? No one may ever fully know what was happening inside Darren Jenkins in those final days. But prosecutors say the signs were clear. The purchases, the surveillance, the silence, the control. This wasn't spontaneous. This was murder by design, a betrayal so profound it left an entire town shattered and a family tree cut down at its roots. And as the case heads to trial, one truth is already etched into the hearts of everyone who loved Dana and Darren. No sentence will undo what he took from them. Dana Jenkins believed in second chances. She believed in forgiveness, in redemption, in the idea that no one was ever too far gone, that love could reach into even the darkest places and pull someone back. She believed in her son, and she died for that belief. Darren Jenkins didn't just kill his mother and brother. He betrayed the very heart that had fought for him. The same hands that once held him, that fed him, that drove hours to visit him in prison, he turned on them with a blade. Darren, just 15 years old, wasn't supposed to be part of the fallout. He was the collateral damage of a brother's rage and a mother's blind hope. And what's even more tragic, it could have been prevented. Darren's record wasn't hidden. He'd been denied parole twice. He had a violent history, a documented pattern of instability behind bars, and no signs of rehabilitation. Yet the system released him without proper support without evaluation.
That's all I was just saying. Like, when you get out, you're supposed to, like, go through some, you know what I'm saying? And she was just probably just, her son out. She didn't care about none of that.
Without even a warning to the family welcoming him home. No check-ins, no supervision, no safeguards.
That's why we're just like, you supposed to get out with that type of stuff, gang.
Just a date on a paper and a ride home. Dana never stood a chance. And yet her story isn't unique. Across America, families are doing what Dana did. Cleaning bedrooms, cooking favorite meals, sharing Facebook posts that say, he's home, without realizing they may be inviting danger back under their roof. They're hoping, praying, believing love is enough. But sometimes love is a trap. Sometimes the person you want to save was never reaching for your hand. Sometimes they're holding a knife behind their back. We can't keep ignoring the warning signs. We can't keep mistaking silence for safety. Because Dana Jenkins didn't fail. The system did, and we all did, by staying quiet when the red flag started waving. In the end, it only took 6 days. 6 days to go from joy to horror. 6 days to turn "my baby is home" into an obituary. 6 days. That's all it took. From "my baby is home" to "rest in peace." May we never ignore the warning signs again. Thanks for watching. Let me...
Dang, man. That's definitely wild, gang. Like I said, man, it should have been something like they ain't follow up or nothing, gang. Crazy, gang. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Rest in peace to them, man, for sure, man. Y'all rocking with the boy, man, getting into some more reaction videos with me, gang. You feel me? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We got more on the way. You feel me? Let's get it. Stay blessed. Stay prayed up, man.